Welcome back, everyone, to another Explainer. Today, we are looking at something that's making massive waves in the automotive world, the radical redesign of the beloved Hyundai Tucson. But this isn't just a story about a single SUV getting a facelift. Honestly, this one vehicle acts as the perfect lens into a massive global industry shift toward a highly strategic hybrid future. Before we jump right in, though, please don't forget to support us by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, ringing the bell, and sharing this explainer so you never miss an update. Oh, and you can join our Cars Press WhatsApp community right now to keep up with all the behind-the-scenes news. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to consider this question. What if the next generation Hyundai Tucson looked this bold, this futuristic, and this premium? Because what we're looking at here is a dramatic, almost shocking departure from traditional SUV design. This 2027 Tucson concept takes everything buyers already love about one of the world's best-selling compact SUVs and essentially just pushes it 10 years into the future. It literally looks more like it belongs in Hyundai's premium electric lineup than, sitting in a standard grocery store parking lot.
So here is our roadmap for today. First up, the 2027 Tucson redesign. Number 2, powertrains and global trims. Number 3, Hyundai's massive sales surge. And finally, number 4, the 2030 electrification vision.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the 2027 Tucson redesign.
Okay, so notice how Hyundai is essentially erasing the traditional face of the car here. The standard front grille, it's completely gone. Instead, we see this massive illuminated front panel that stretches across the entire width of the vehicle, integrating these ultra-slim LED headlights right into a seamless light bar. It gives the car this incredibly sophisticated digital identity. And moving over to the side profile, it's just remarkably minimalist. They've added flush door handles, which is something you usually only see on high-end luxury EVs, right? It improves aerodynamics while keeping the lines super clean. And yet, it somehow still retains a rugged, boxy look with very prominent fender flares to keep that aggressive SUV stance. Add in a full-width LED taillight bar at the rear, and you've got a vehicle that completely redefines its segment. Stepping inside the cabin, wow. We are looking at a tech-forward luxury interior that feels dramatically more upscale than today's model. The most striking feature, for sure, is that massive, curved panoramic display. It stretches almost the entire width of the dashboard, combining the digital instrument cluster and the infotainment system into one seamless interface. It completely dominates the space. And because of that, physical buttons have largely been replaced by intuitive digital controls, which really cuts down on the visual clutter.
But design is also about options, right? And we're seeing some fascinating contrasts in the interior styling here. On one hand, you have trims featuring this beautiful premium wood extending across the cabin, paired with light upholstery to create a warm, upscale luxury atmosphere that honestly rivals European luxury brands. But then, on the flip side, we're also seeing styling with sporty orange dashboard accents, paired with a very distinctive two-spoke steering wheel. It's a totally different vibe. This shows Hyundai is deliberately targeting both the premium luxury buyer and the younger sport-focused driver using the exact same vehicle architecture.
Moving right along to Section 2, powertrains and global trims. Now, Hyundai's flexible global approach becomes super obvious when you look at their rollout strategy. In markets like Egypt, the 2027 Tucson is officially launching across 7 distinct trims, peaking at an N-line sports variant, but entirely powered by a highly reliable 1.6-liter turbocharged internal combustion engine producing 180 horsepower. And the prices there range from 1.8 million to 2.4 million Egyptian pounds. But globally, the story shifts heavily toward electrification. While there's likely going to be a standard 200-horsepower turbo 4-cylinders starting around $34,000, the real focus is on their next-generation hybrid system, which is expected to push over 250 horsepower. And for those ready for a plug-in hybrid, we are looking at an estimated 50 to 70 miles of all-electric driving range. Think about that. That essentially allows you to do your daily commute without ever using a single drop of gasoline.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next point in Section 3, Hyundai's massive sales surge.
Looking at Hyundai's recent Q3 2025 performance reports, the Tucson is just one piece of a massive, highly successful puzzle. In the third quarter of 2025 alone, Hyundai Motor Company sold over 1.03 million retail units worldwide. That is a 4.8% overall global growth compared to the previous year. So they are moving millions of vehicles, but the real story is what kind of vehicles they're moving.
The absolute crucial point is this number right here, 37%. That is the staggering global surge in Hyundai's electrified vehicle sales. So that includes full EVs, hybrids, and plug-in hybrids in just the third quarter of 2025. This proves that their flexible powertrain strategy, offering the right mix of gas, hybrid, and electric options depending on the region, is resonating powerfully with customers all over the globe.
Breaking down that growth regionally revealed some incredibly fascinating data. In Korea, electrified units were up 29%. In the Middle East and Africa, electrified vehicles jumped 41%. But look at Central and South America, a massive 228% surge in electrified sales. No way, right? What's happening there is that hybrids are acting as a vital gateway. In regions where EV charging infrastructure just isn't fully developed yet, Hyundai is heavily pushing hybrids. It builds customer confidence in battery technology without all that range anxiety, perfectly paving the way for full EV adoption later on. It's just an incredibly smart playbook.
Which leads us to our final topic, Section 4, the 2030 electrification vision. So what does this all mean for the rest of the decade? Well, Hyundai has mapped out an exact master plan. Their 2030 vision is highly specific. They are targeting 5.55 million global vehicle sales annually by the year 2030. And out of that massive number, they intend for a full 60% of them, amounting to 3.3 million units, to be electrified. They're currently hitting a 25.2% electrified penetration rate, which actually puts them ahead of pace for this monumental goal.
Let's walk through the strategic milestones that are going to get them there. To fuel this, Hyundai is committing a staggering 77 trillion won. Let me put that into perspective. That's roughly 57 billion US dollars. By 2026, we'll see their luxury Genesis brand rapidly expanding into Europe and India. By 2027, right when this new Tucson hits the streets in force, Hyundai plans to launch extended-range EVs capable of over 600 miles of range, utilizing next-generation batteries that are 30% cheaper to produce. And by 2030, they aim to have over 18 different hybrid models covering everything from entry-level commuters to high-end luxury, all while targeting an incredibly healthy 8 to 9% operating margin. They're heavily relying on their advanced TMED2 hybrid systems to deliver massive fuel efficiency improvements across the board.
So, I'll leave you with this provocative thought. Will Hyundai's aggressive, flexible hybrid strategy crown them the undisputed king of the 2030 automotive market? By refusing to put all their eggs in one basket, by seamlessly blending radical, futuristic designs like the 2027 Tucson with a highly adaptable mix of gas, hybrid, and electric powertrains, tailored to individual global markets, Hyundai just might outmaneuver the competition entirely. It definitely leaves us with a lot to ponder about the future of driving. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep your eyes on the road ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.